wait at the start because we want to get Mori in. But unfortunately, it looks like these guys were a little bit antsy to get going, and that's cool. That's cool. Spawning in the lower right corner of the map, he is the Red Protoss, OldPeaceRoadz. And his opponent in the upper left, playing for ATC, it is the Blue Zerg player Elazer. Now, I was trying to remember why this guy's name's familiar, and I'm pretty positive I've cast him in like either Exotech or Go for StarCraft before. And I also remember, like, when okay, so this is, like, we'll talk about STARBOW in a second. We're gonna have a cool story moment with Rifkin, guys, so get your cool story hats on. Basically, like, if I remember someone's name definitively, but I can't remember where I saw them, then I know it was like a quarterfinals match or longer. Elazer's one of those names where it's like, I kind of remember him, like, the name's 1,000,000% familiar, I just don't remember where, which means he probably did not make it to, like, the finals by any means, but was still a decent enough player for me to actually remember his name, so, curious to see how he'll play this STARBOW match. A lot of StarCraft 2 players have actually been performing worse than the STARBOW players. Small nods go out to people like Tefl and Goody, etc. Again, fantastic players, but when it comes to STARBOW, it's a whole nother can of worms. And if you play this like StarCraft 2, you're going to have a bad time. And the same goes if you try and play it like Brood War. It's neither nor. It's STARBOW. Now, we talked a little bit about Protoss in the first game, and we won't go too much beating a dead horse about things we already know, guys. As we follow throughout the day, I understand new viewers will tune in, and a lot of people want to know what's going on. So what I do request is if you guys are in chat, you don't have any clue what's going on, trust me, a lot of us have no idea what's going on either. So ask in chat, get that discussion roll. My favorite thing about Wednesday was the fact that we probably had like a record high for chat activity, because it was people arguing about what's good, what's not, what they think is good, what they think is not, and I want to see more of that today. But as far as Zerg goes, guys, mechanically, not a lot has changed. They swapped some of the tier units around. The Queen has been reworked entirely. But outside of that, it's still your generic race. The only main difference is you're not going to see, 2 or 3 hatcheries. It encourages macro hatcheries. It encourages extra bases, because Queens no longer spawn extra larvae. They help the rate at which larvae are increased, but not the same, and they don't have an auto attack either, that you have to like actually activate an ability called Enrage to make them attack, which apparently in the most recent patch update received a graphical upgrade, so curious to see how that's gonna look. Zerglings, of course, tier 1. Hydra is now considered tier 1. Roaches are like tier 3 or something insane. Like, really cool, really different dynamics to the game. The Lurker was brought back from Brood War, a really powerful anti-ground unit. No, your mom doesn't lift more than my mom. What's up, Herpaderpus and everyone else joining me today? We got a Zealot moving across the map already with this Dragoon. Oh my, this could actually be problematic for Elazer, who he's getting a Queen out, sure, and he's getting some Zerglings, but the follow-up to this is actually going to be a Stargate. Now, Lings haven't changed that much. They're still pretty much your cannon fodder early game units. They do fare a little bit better because it's just everything else has kind of been toned down a little bit, but it's still against the Zealot and the Dragoon this early, not going to be the easiest hold. Now, here we go, guys. The Enrage ability of the Queen. For 20 seconds, she can attack. Let's see what this looks like. Come on, Elazer. You want to hold this natural, right? You'll want to stay in this game. You better pop off that attack when those 8-lings hatch. Brand new units come out of the Stargate, by the way. We'll talk about them as they get made. Looks like it will be a Sentinel first. Probably one of my favorite new units to see. It's got some cool abilities. One of them's got this like weird heat seeker energy attack. It's kind of like an air sentry, not in the abilities it has, but like the low damage it has, and it's more of a utility thing than anything else. But oh wow, that new Enrage looks fantastic on the Queens. For those who don't know what it used to look like, it was just like this weird little graphical thing around their head. But this is what I want to see. First off, is this neutral? Looks like it is neutral. Attack it. Oh god, please attack it. Poke it. Poke the bear. PeaceRoadz, you're curious. I know you are. No, okay, walks past it. Anyways, the Sentinel coming out. Where's that first one? We can talk about the abilities it has. It's actually a pretty cool unit, and it looks a little bit weird. So Null Ward. This is what I was talking before. It's kind of like this Heat Seeker ability. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's kind of like a Seeker missile that doesn't require a target. Like, you lay it down, and it blips for like a second or two, and then it looks for a target and tries to detonate. Its attack, again, is not the craziest thing in the world. Looks like Dragoons are going to be in a bit of trouble here at home, actually. Glare is this thing that forces it to stay still, so it's kind of like Oracle and Vision, but it can't move. And the last thing requires an upgrade, but hang on. Dragoons are going to go down, and I thought I was going to get First Blood fixed, but I didn't, so we're just going to have to live without First Blood for today, guys. Maybe I'll restart the stream after this and get it fixed. Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. Anyway, Sentinels do have a very low health pool and a pretty low shield count. Not the strongest units in the world. Zealot in a good spot to take a fight here, but can the Sentinel, do this? And this is what I meant by like Sentry. There you go. And that was the Null Ward you guys just saw. If you weren't paying attention, it was a little blue thing here that went blip, 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 and went on top of the Zergling. So like I said, it's kind of like a secret missile that acquires its own target. So a little bit of RNG involved with it, but nothing too crazy. Still a really cool thing to watch nonetheless. Hydra's Den has completed up, but we do see the Groove Spines coming out. So Hydras will be made here in a moment. And of course, the Hydra's Den needs to turn into a Lurker Den in order to make Hydras into Lurkers. If we do want to see those eventually come out on the field. But, getting anti-air for the time being, knowing that these are going to be a bit of a problem. Sentinels are quite nice for harass. People saying it looks like a flying poop. I don't see that. They do look a little bit awkward though, don't they? Enrage activated here. We do have Null Ward. So okay, if you stay away from these, they'll just sit here and time out eventually, right? But look how slow that timer goes down. Instead tries to find some detonations. One goes off in that worker line. A second one could have been devastating. Fortunately was out of range. And yeah. For those who don't know, I didn't know this either. Creep apparently provides a bit of a health regeneration bonus, something that's not available currently in regular StarCraft 2. Instead, it no longer gives a movement speed bonus. So that's the trade-off. A couple of Zealots coming in here, but the Hydralisks should be able to deal with this. If you guys haven't heard, by the way, Hydras have a really cool attack sound. They brought it back from Brood War. They went full-on nostalgic with this. There's the glare ability coming out of the Sentinel, so it cannot move, it cannot attack while it's glaring. And looks like he's going to bait out the Null Wards. Nice move there out of Elazer. As you guys can see, the Null Ward, it hits pretty hard, but it's not going to kill you. It's not going to end an army in an instant, not without like 50 of them, but perhaps ready to do 50 of them. OldPeaceRoadz going to get caught here by these Hydralisks, loses his Sentinels, and now with only one remaining, he's forced to back up, and that is a little bit unfortunate. Looks like he is looking to expand though, so again, this is a game that kind of encourages expansions because, you can actually defense it a little bit easier. High ground advantage combined with chokes works a little bit better. And OldPeaceRoadz also expanding while this is going on. Gotta give it up for Elazer though. He's had some harass come his way, but, picking off those Sentinels, man, did that change the resources lost to be in his favor. Well, I guess it was already in his favor. He lost the other guy lost the Dragons. Shush. Please attack this thing. Oh god, I beg you. It's only got 400 health. It's a Thor. You could take on a Thor, bro. No. Oh, just the Earth's done. Collect it for essence. Alright, well, Hydras across the map are moving a little bit quick here. We'll find some more Sentinels to try and pick off. And Null Ward does not get to be generated, as it does need to be channeled for like a few seconds before it can go down. Zealots, of course, no longer have charge, guys. I know it says charged up there in the production tab, but what it does is increase their base movement speed. But right now, without that, a little bit difficult to engage on top of these Hydralisks, and this is actually looking pretty bad here for Elazer. He really needs to get something out, that element X, because right now, his base is in for some trouble. He's going to lose these warp gates. Oh, nice stutter step here from Elazer, looking really strong. No photon overcharge available, no cannons down. This is STARBOW, guys. Probes have been pulled to try and fight with this. Zealots do connect, and they're going to get some good damage in on this now that they've got that charge upgrade. So, again, look at this. It's not like a one-charge move, a one-trick pony, but like a very constant speed upgrade, which makes them infinitely more effective against these ranged units that can no longer kite them. So, Roadz loses a lot of probes in that. It's really unfortunate. A lot did go down, but holds the line. Further reinforcements are coming across the map, but the reason that first death ball of Hydralisks worked was because there were so many of them. Now there's only one or two, and it's not going to be the same situation. Their damage has been toned down quite a bit, not quite as deadly as they are currently in regular StarCraft 2, but again, that Lurker Den finishing up means they can start turning into Lurkers, which could be a big problem. Continued Sentinel production is going to come out, and if you guys have never seen Lurkers before, the first thing you need to know about them is they can only attack while burrowed, first and foremost. Secondly, they attack really hard and do a lot of splash damage in a direct line, so a choke on a bridge, a choke between the gateway, like these are the ideal locations to take engagements. And what Elazer's doing right now is actually really important. He's got the Overseer on the front lines with some Hydralisks. He's scouting for observers. He wants to pick off the Sentinels. He wants to make sure there's no way to detect these units. But down they go into a burrow, and as we see, just slicing and dicing into the Zealots. Now, unfortunately, their attack, as we can see, is somewhat delayed, so you can kind of run around it and through it if you have the micro skills for it. But trying to fight away from the Lurkers right now. OldPeaceRoadz knows he can't engage on this bridge. It's not going to work out well for him if he does. Last gateway of the front lines might go down. He needs to really consider putting out some extra production in his main base, but of course he doesn't quite have the economy like Elazer does. Null Ward has been armed and ready to go. Looks like the Scourges are going to get involved with this. I didn't even see them come up. They've got an updated model. Whoa, it's the old school Scourges. I'm not actually a fan of that. If you guys missed it before, Scourges originally had like a little Baneling model with wings. I thought they were cute. I thought they were adorable. But now with a unique model, just come to Suicide Inn, take out the Sentinel. And that was the only form of protection here for OldPeaceRoadz. He was hoping to push back the Hydralisk so he could churn into the glare mode on top of the Lurkers. That's not going to happen though. We'll take out the Hydralisk, but there's just so many Lurkers here. He's got to be careful. I don't know why drones were brought to the front lines, but hey, how you doing, guys? Dragoon's going to try and engage on top of this, but once again, no detection means no way to effectively deal with this. Ling's now getting involved with the fight as well. Some Hydralisk will clean up the last of the army. Good game will be called, and Elazer will move on to the brackets.